The views and opinions of the Nissan Nation podcast are strictly that. They are views and opinions of Dave and Danny and its guests. They are not the views and opinions of Nissan Corporate Americas or otherwise, Japan, wherever. So now, a DRB and KGB media presentation, the Nissan Nation podcast. Hit it, Kelly.
Recorded live, coast to coast, it's the Nissan Nation podcast. From camping, racing, and all points in between. The NNP is your Nissan Nation podcast. Now start your engines and welcome in the hosts, David and Danny.
What is going on, Nissan Nation? From all things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to wherever you listen to us around the globe, this is your Nissan Nation podcast, and I am your host, David Boyd. And I want to say thank you guys for everybody who's been supporting us on YouTube here lately, man. You guys have really killed it. And the YouTube channel is funded now, and we're getting some of that Google ad revenue. So that does help a little bit. Not pennies at a time, but hey, those are pennies we didn't have, right? And it was all due to you guys just hitting subscribe and the like button. And if you do like what we do over there, guys, anytime that you can hit that like button, that pushes us up into the analytics for YouTube. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but with the way YouTube operates now, you only get like a day, maybe a day and a half to stay relevant, and then it starts forgetting about you. So when you get those likes, it keeps you up in there minutes at a time. So it does help overall, and I want to say I appreciate everybody who has supported the channel. We just dropped a new video. You've probably already seen it, but we're at Z1 Motorsports there in Georgia, and I want to say, man, what an amazing place that shop is. I went in there with expectations of it was going to be cool, and I came out with expectations that I'm not cool enough to be in that shop, man. That Spencer and the guys over there treated us super. It was nice to talk to John over there, the tuner, and all the guys around there. They gave us a full shop tour, and it's amazing. I posted this on Facebook last week that it's like looking at a mini Amazon. The way Amazon does everything, the way they track your orders, they double check your orders before it goes out. That's not to say, even on the tour, they're like, yeah, sometimes mistakes happen, but they're trying to, shipping is expensive, and if you have to reship parts and stuff, it just gets expensive. So they've literally created their own database. They track everything on how to just be a better for the customer, and the customer's expectations should be high. And with Z1, they're always they always turn it out. So once again, I want to say thank you for those guys having us out there. And I did a video on YouTube, just a slight, nothing special, but it was just drifting in some cars over there. They're looking at the Nissan Titan Warrior concept. That was really cool. They've got it in shop there, and there's no telling how long it'll be there. So if you're in the kind of Georgia area, hell, if you're in the Alabama area and you want to see that truck and go check it out. Their shop's well worth the price of non-admission because they want your business, so they're not charging, obviously. But it is a nice place to hang out, and I looked, and I think they had 20 Z1 cars sitting there, and it was nuts. All the employees are driving Zs. But what's really cool about Z1 is they're getting into off-road. They're getting in what's called Z1Offroad.com, and if you're a truck guy, which I know a big amount of our audience is, go check out Z1Offroad.com. And just look at all the parts they have, from OEM to aftermarket stuff, and they're putting stuff on there every day. And I know they're wanting to kind of jump into the off-road world and the lift kits and all that stuff down the road. But for OEM, they're super competitive. I was just blown away. I can't say enough about those guys, man. It's one of the classiest places that's allowed the podcast in there. So once again, go to Z1. And check those guys out. And if you happen to do, and you've listened to it here, tell them we sent you over there. They would appreciate that, and I would appreciate that. And once again, this is not a paid advertisement. They just invited me down to check out the place, and I really, really liked what they do and what they stand for. So speaking of that, now that we've done our 4 minutes of Z1, let's get into Gone Moab. So Danny and I we had kind of said that we were not going to support that event anymore. And they had kind of a snake in the grass there that was I wasn't a fan of, and I'll be honest. And I knew there was a lot of shady dealings he was doing within the community there of the Moab community, and I just could no longer, in my heart, I could not support that. So a couple years ago, we backed away from support, and we basically wouldn't talk about Gone Moab anymore. But the snake in the grass, December, he tried to shut it all down. He was trying to hide whatever he was doing, and he almost did, but I'm afraid bank accounts can be tracked. So I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to get into the right or wrong of what that gentleman did, but it's weird how a new Jeep got in his driveway, and I don't know how it got funded. Anyways, so Gone Moab is a gathering of Nissan enthusiasts, and it's in its 19th year. It's ridiculous. They've before the past 3 years, all the coordinators had just killed it, man. They did it. It was for the love of Nissan Offroad. Now, there will be a couple other brands there every once in a while. They don't really go out of their way to advertise it for other brands, but they don't care. If you're at a Toyota or something, it's not like they're going to turn you down. Or if you've been a person who drove Nissan in the past and went to the event and just want to go, they like bringing it's a family, basically. And they want to have, obviously the biggest event they can. And they are set, as you're going to hear in this interview, they're dead set on any profits they make go right back into the Moab community, which I find to be amazing. And I think it's back in the right direction. So guys, listen to this interview. Be sure if you like this interview, be sure to share it. It means a lot, and I don't say that lightly of just like, oh, share it so the podcast can be bigger. I mean, the way we're taking the podcast now is, obviously you're getting a lot more interview, less of me and Danny, but the idea of these interviews are to get these people's word out, and the best way to do that is if you like it, share it anywhere that you like, forums. I don't care, just share the content. And once again, it's not about the NNP. It's about getting the people we bring on, getting the word out that they're trying to do. Because for the most part, everybody we bring on the show is do it. They're trying to do good by the community, and I just like supporting it. If you don't know, once again, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, obviously we're on Facebook, and that's about it. I'm about social media now. If there's a new one, I'm not going to TikTok. I'm just not. I can't do that. But if there's something out there we need to, please make us aware. If there's something out there we need to be looking at, let us know. Me and Danny are not against following trends, I don't think. Once again, Danny, he DeGroot X on YouTube. If you haven't yet subscribed to his YouTube channel, Danny is all about racing, right? And just Danny's about the Danny lifestyle. And he did a live chat the other day, which was really cool, man. He walked around his race truck. He's on YouTube doing some live stuff. And he if you're interested in his race program, go check it out. We've been putting some of the older race build truck, the build stuff on the NMP's YouTube channel, but anything current is on Danny's. So if you want to catch up with what Danny's doing with that truck, go do that. And so I think that's all the business out of the way. Let's get to Gone Moab here on the Nissan Nation podcast with Lelan Merel live. Peace. All right, so today, whenever you're listening to the podcast, we've got kind of a new big name in the off-road world. We've got Mr. Lelan Merel of Gone Moab, and you're like, Gone Moab? That's right. The Gone Moab has new leadership, and we're super excited. And I've always said that I would not support that venture anymore until they had some new leadership. And ta-da, Lelan, you stepped in, man. It's nice to meet you.
You as well, man. It's been a fun time so far.
Right. So you came on my radar. I don't even know how we honestly became friends, but my first recollection of you, somehow you got my phone number. You were in Moab and you were heading back and you were like, dude, I totally pranked Danny. And I was like, who is this? And my wife Kelly was like, who's calling you? I was like, I don't know, but they're in Moab, so they got to be pretty cool, right? And I'll never forget, you put a sticker or something on his sunroof, and you were heading back to Vegas or something, and then we never got to meet then. And I think there's been one other time we could have met, but just for some reason it just never happened, man.
Yeah, that one was actually just a photo out that I sent over when he was doing Cane Creek. We snuck up on the top of his truck. He had his sunroof closed, and we slapped a nice little sticker on his sunroof and
right.
Snapped a picture. And everyone's like, "Dude, you got to send that to Danny or send it to David because you guys are pals and obviously you guys are tight with each other." So
and I think
that's how that whole prank happened.
I think that might have been the year too of Boyd versus Groot. So I think there was a lot of people playing pranks on each other that year, man.
That was that year. That's why I sent it to you. Was
right.
Like because he kept pranking you and seemed like you were a little behind on it. So I was like, we got him for you.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense now. So you're based out of Vegas, right?
Yes, born and raised.
Wow, man, that's kind of, you never hear about that. Like usually people are all just imports, right?
Pretty much, and believe it or not, we do not all live on Las Vegas Boulevard.
No, come on now. If TV would tell me anything, everybody lives on the boulevard.
And we all, work in the casinos, but unfortunately, no, that's not true. I actually live as far away from the edge of the valley as you can get in a little town called Henderson.
Uh-huh.
And I live in Old Henderson, so a lot of people refer to this side as Hendertucky, because the freeway used to end at Boulder Highway, and you drive all the way down Boulder Highway, getting to Boulder City. And I can open my garage and fire up the dirt bike and not even hit a paved street to get out to the desert.
Right. Well, I don't think. I think a lot of people understand, but obviously it's desert out there. But you guys have just in that Nevada area, you have some of the best wheeling there is in the country.
I'd like to think we do. I think the desert provides a lot of uniqueness, and to me, the part that's always appealed to it is just the areas that go unexplored. You're not getting your average Subaru out on some of these trails. They're full of rocks and boulders and shale. So you've really got to have a decent vehicle. Years ago, our club took out some BLM people, that go out and they study the environment that we live in.
Right.
And we took them out on a little trail with Nick from Rogue Overland, and we took these people on a trail that had a bunch of waterfalls, and they're going through, and they told us to stop. And we're like, why? What's wrong? And they were just in shock and awe at the cactuses that were blooming on the side of this mountain. They all nerded out. All these BLM scientists got out of the vehicle. They're taking pictures, just in a place that without that type of vehicle, you'd never get to go see.
Right.
And that's what I love about this desert environment.
Right. Well, and of course, yeah, you guys are near the Rogue Overland guys. And I think, I guess part of where you came to me was with your local club there, right? What is your club called?
So Sean and I, Sean's the big name. We kind of got together years ago when we went wheeling with some Toyotas, and they didn't really like us too much. So we were like, dude, let's make our own Nissan thing here in Vegas. And it actually started out as just Silver State Frontiers, and then we met the Knicks. And we're like, whoa, we're missing a whole nother segment of us.
Right.
And so this was before they had Rogue, and it was like, let's come together. Let's be one collective group for Nevada. And that kind of sparked what is today is known as Silver State Nissans. And it's really grown from there. We've gotten in with the Titan group that was running kind of their own thing, and now we're all a collective family in the Valley. And we've really grown the last 2 years. But yeah, that's the local club, Silver State Nissans.
Right. But that gives you a good background, so you kind of, you kind of learn how to run a club a little bit, which gives you a good background to kind of take over Gone Moab. So for those that don't know, Gone Moab, it's a yearly Nissan off-road event in Moab, Utah, and like if you've not been to Moab, like you live in a kind of the cool kind of khaki desert, like Moab is just like nuts. It's like all red rocks and all this fun stuff, and Moab's been going, what is this year?
19th year.
Wow. So it's been going for quite a while, and of course leadership come and go at times, and I guess the previous leadership just decided to kind of drop the ball, and you kind of swooped in to save the day for the event, because the event almost didn't happen, right?
So I knew Bill. He actually reached out to me and said that he was done. He's like, I'm done. This is where it's going to be. I don't really know who's going to take it over, but he said he's out. So, it kind of I was stepped back a little bit and just was, well, wait a minute. This is 19th year. I've got this newer truck that I built from my last truck, and I was like, I can't let this event die. This event's kind of dear to my heart, and I always saw myself as being able to take my family and my daughter out there to explore this area. So
Right.
it was kind of that notion of let's keep this thing going. So I reached out to Sean, who was a partner in me in the club, and he's the guy that just knows how to run things. And it was like bending his arm, man. It really was. He was like, I don't want to do it. That's my fun time. That's not work for me.
Right.
That's when I tell all my clients that, hey, I'm gonna disappear for a week. And so it took him about a couple weeks to come around, and he's like, okay, all right, fine. I'll give you the help that you need. And I know that with him in my corner and us, we're excited for this year. It's going to be a great year. We've got some really cool things that we're trying to do.
Right. Well, and of course, Moab is just known for the world-class trails out there. And obviously you've been out there a little bit. I know Sean has. And you had a good background on the area and the event, and there's a lot of kind of heritage to that event too. Like there's just certain things, whether it be the kickoff that you guys do or just the raffle, because the raffle is always fun. But the event is really more than these things. But kind of give us, since you've taken it over, and I know you've kind of last minute had to put some pieces of this together. You really, like, I know events. It takes a whole year to plan an event, and you were kind of December, the 1st of December is when you kind of jumped in, right? So what are some of the plans for the event?
You're right, and it was kind of like I figured this was a baptism by fire, right? We're gonna succeed and we're gonna do great, or we'll know afterwards. But our plans for this year is we're kind of trying to bring it back to the roots that it was. We're scaling back just a little bit on a couple things. We're gonna have the meet and greet. We're still keeping the Spanish Trails Arena. We did like the idea of the tech inspection. I know there were some people that weren't really for it, but there's a benefit of it, right?
Sure.
If we get a chance to look over someone's vehicle and maybe stop something from catastrophically failing on a trail, that's what we want to do.
Right.
So we're gonna keep the tech inspection. We're gonna keep it simple. We're just looking at things like battery tie downs. How do your tie rods look? Does your 4-wheel drive function when you get out there? So some of those maintenance things that just might
Sure.
someone might have overmissed.
Sure.
We're gonna keep that. We got Nissan in this year, and they stepped up big, and they're going to keep the pizza night. So Zach's Pizza Night, that's happening thanks to Nissan North America.
Right.
So that's awesome. And then we're going to have the raffle. We decided, after a lot of discussion and listening to the community, we're going to have the raffle on the Friday night. We're going to see how it does.
Right.
I know there was some toss up Thursday night because some people use Friday to travel back. Some people want it to be on Friday night, and we see the benefit of both. We're going to go with Friday this year, see how it works, because it is a way to kind of close the event. We're going to bring that event to a closure with the raffle. Everyone meet one last day of 5 days of wheeling in the mecca of off-road locations,
Right.
and kind of just rehash the fun times we had for the week. So that's tentatively what we got. We're gonna continue the disorganized barbecue on Tuesday night at Canyonlands, so that's gonna happen as well. We're gonna scale things back a little bit, but what we want to bring to this event is a little bit of sense of a family event. So some things we're working on is family functions after the trails during the day. So back at the condos, we're looking at having a cornhole competition and some other things to kind of have that family bonding and that sense that it's a little bit more than just, hey, let's wheel and let's go to the condos and drink beer.
Right.
That's going to happen too, but there are people that want to bring their families out, and that's what we want to cater to. We want to have some functions that those people can do that.
Sure. And I will say I've noticed over attending 3 or 4 of these things that some of the rowdiness was kind of getting out of control a little bit. I mean, I always look at it as, hey, this is my vacation time, and sometimes I don't need somebody putting a sticker or something on my car, or, because a lot of times these people may be first timers coming out there, and these pictures are maybe pictures of a lifetime that you get to, and I think some of the rowdiness kind of took away from the event, and even though I know previous administrations sort of tried to go corporate with it, and they wanted this real fancy dinner and stuff, man, I think at the end of the day, like you were saying, just having some fun at the condos, whether it be the family stuff or just, part of it for me, my first Moab was going out there, and just, it was a little bit fun to go from condo to condo and see what everybody was up to, and whether it be the Canadians or like your crew, everybody has a base, but I think, you guys trying to get everybody together is really awesome.
Yeah, pranks are going to happen. And I've had a couple people that are already messaged me like, hey, I've got a buddy who's got a Jeep. Can he come? Yeah, absolutely. And while I'm on that, this is a Nissan event. We're going to keep it Nissan focused and Nissan centered. But there are people that have started the community and moved on. For example, Sonny, right? He's been in this community and now he's got a buggy. You're always welcome. So we got friends that are asking, hey, this guy's got a Jeep. And I said, yeah, he's welcome. He might be the butt of all the jokes on the trail, but that's what we're here for. And so on that, you tell people like, hey, you got to have a little bit of thick skin to come out here in your Jeep and with 100 other Nissans. And luckily he's like, no, he gets picked on all the time. But there's three of us in an Xterra at our shop, and so it was interesting. He sent me a picture of his buddy with the Jeep where they replaced the center cap on his wheels with Nissan center caps. And so I just messaged him back. I said, if he can handle that, he'll get along great with everybody in Moab, because pranks are part of the event. We try to keep it civil, like you said. If we could tone it down a little bit, that's what we're going to try for. But at the end of the day, people are there to have fun, and that's the kind of thing what we want the most, is just to know you're in a group of family, basically, because we're the black sheep of the off-road community. We all get along, and we just want to make Gone Moab a great time for everybody that wants to come out and wheel.
Right. Well, so part of just talking with you since December about kind of your plans about this, and just, I really think, like, when you reached out to some of the old school guys like Kevin and Josh, and just like, hey man, obviously you not ran an event this size, like this is a monster within itself, but I was awesome to hear that you were kind of reaching out to the old school guys, the guys that really made this event what it is today. And you were like trying to bring some of that soul back to the event. What were Kevin and Josh, were they excited that kind of it might be changing course?
Yeah, so here's a younger gentleman who I only remember Kevin and Josh from the forums, right? Their old forum days and seeing those old posts. And I wasn't around when they ran Gone Moab, but I knew the legacy and the reputation that they had. Even to the day, they're respected in the community. So clearly what they did it right. And they're the ones who, grew this event. They ran it for 10 years. So they started in 2001 with 5-10 friends and grew it to the 50s and 70s where they were at when they handed over to the next group.
Right.
So I just wanted to reach out to them because no one besides them has done it more than 3 years. So, trying to figure out what can we do, what can we go back, what worked for them. And they've been a huge help. They really, they want to see the event. They've got a passion for the event. It's always a part of them just because of what they started and how much time they've invested in it. It's always dear to them. So they were kind of happy that I wanted to get it back to that roots as well.
Right. And it is a monster within itself to run one of these things. And of course, me and you've talked for hours on end about some of this stuff, because obviously I've went a little bit, and I'm probably kind of the closest guy to you, I guess, about running one of these currently. Right or wrong, the previous guys, I don't think a lot of people agreed with how they were handling it. So, like, it's been kind of, it's honestly helped me a lot with my event, just like kind of refreshing remembered what it was like to be like, kind of like in your situation of a year or two of this, and just trying to figure out how do you do things. But it really did, like with Josh and Kevin, those guys are so great that when I decided to start an event here in the East Coast, man, I reached out to Kevin and I was like, hey man, I was lost, and Kevin, he set up Eventbrite for me. He just went right through one day, and he was like, look, man, you need to do this. This is how you need to hit it. And just those guys are world-class people, man. And it is cool that they're kind of maybe, guiding you a little bit and showing some of the excitement for the event again.
Yeah, since we kind of took over, I've probably, for a good shot there, almost had a phone call with the both of them at least every other week. Right. Hey, this is the progress we've done. This is where I'm at. How am I looking on track of, because when you're dealing in Utah, you're dealing with 4 different agencies or entities, if you will, with 4 different permitting, 4 different requirements. So when you're writing the insurance policy for this event, we're over here, we got to make sure that all 4 of these, and then also the arena's got to be on the insurance policy. And man, and this is where Sean steps in a big amount. Is right. Sean, that's all he does. He does events for a living, so he puts on trade shows. So this is his expertise. So for him, it was super strategic for me to just, okay, Sean, you're the businessman, you're the brass tacks. I know I need this from talking to guys, but can you put it together? Right. And he's really been the guy that has set that up. Being that the previous organizers were in a different state, we set up a business name, business license, a new EIN number, everything. That way it's all based out of Vegas again. And he was the key to getting all of that done. He knew how to set up a business. That is not my area of expertise by any means.
Right. And well, in these things, I don't care if it's 30 trucks to 500 trucks, man. Like, you got to have somebody that can organize things, but at some point you have to depend on people to kind of help you, and it's awesome that he's been able to step in on, because a lot of those subjects, those are tough things to figure out, and it's nice for you to have, he's local to you, and it's somebody that, if you need to, y'all can, hang out and talk these things out, and that has to mean a lot to you.
It does. And then the other side of the coin is, just like you mentioned, Eventbrite, getting the Eventbrite, the website was lost. I'm sure everyone remembers that, the post that the server crashed, data was lost. I mean, the data that I got turned over was from 2017. So I have nothing, no records from 18, 19, all of that was gone.
Wow. And the 3 years, huh? That somebody else ran it. That's odd.
and the big help on that was Jay. He has the technical background that I don't have. I don't do website. So you mentioned relying on people. It's just having that team. Jay has put the website, built it back up, completely overhauled it from the 2017 backup we had. He set up Eventbrite. He built all the ticketing in. He planned all of the the Excel sheets with the trail scheduling and doing all that. So it's nice having that team that we're kind of functioning as a unit, but we're all handling different duties that we're strong with. So yeah, it's you're right. You do have to have that team to be successful, and right. I think I've got a really good team.
So GoneMoab.com is the website, right?
Yeah, GoneMoab.com.
So that's nice, and it kind of stinks with their collapse or whatever had happened to the website. Like, there was years of, they had a forum. And not that it was not that it was heavily used, but there was a lot of memories on that thing, and just people shared pictures and good times and memories, and that all went away, sadly. And you're picking up the pieces and trying to, I mean, obviously forums aren't what they used to be, but the website is really, like, it's the heart and soul of the event, man. With forums gone, or not as available as they used to be, like, the website means more now than ever about getting the word out and how the event's going to run, right?
It absolutely does. So when we kind of picked up the pieces and we did get that 2017 backup, there was the forum that was there, and then we had a discussion of, now we've lost 3 years of entry on the forum, and unfortunately, just with Facebook and the way it's taken over, it really didn't make sense to put the time and effort back into the forum to get it back to where it needed to be, right, to really use it. So the two biggest things for us that we can reach people is, one, the website, but really Facebook is where, and I hate Facebook in that sense. I really do. It's a bane of my existence, and I've hated it with the club, but it's a tool that's necessary, just because that's where all your people are. So we decided to let the forum go, not to invest our time that we would need to put into that to get it up to run, and just spend our time getting the website back up and running with the Facebook.
Right.
And that was really the key, was being able to keep that. The Facebook page was actually scheduled to be deleted when we took this event over. So we had to go back in and cancel that and kind of stop the transaction from happening, just so we could keep this, our 5,000 people that we got in there.
Right. It's just a shame that the previous person just decided they just kind of wanted to delete, like the event never happened. And I'm so happy that you guys stepped in and just kind of saved the day on that. And because the event does mean something. Like you were saying, 19 years of this. So this is my 10th year of my event, and I know how much work I've put into this thing. Like, 19 years of history and just memories, and it was nice. At least you could bring it back to 17 era. And I think in a lot of people's minds, bringing it back to that 17 era probably is kind of refreshing, that maybe the barnacles that were previously on it aren't there just yet. So kind of what are the plans, like trail wise? Is it going to be a classic gone, or are there new things, trail wise, or what is going on exactly with the event?
So trail wise, we kind of looked at the trails that have been run over the past years, and we were able to pull attendance records from various years, because Eventbrite holds all that data for us.
Right.
So that was actually really cool. Once we got into the Eventbrite, we were able to pull all that data and kind of look at what trails are the most popular trails, what trails had the most interaction, and and then we know what the popular trails are out there. So we kind of just when we were looking at all that, we put all that data together, and that's what allowed us to open that the trail schedule that we did do.
Sure.
So that was kind of how we were looking at things.
Well, and I know too, you guys, it's not like you can just go run whatever you want out there. It's the BLM, and there's a lot of rules to where you can be and where you can't be, right?
There are, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Certain trails have limits to only having 10, and that's 10 including your trail leader. So then you're only limited to 9 attendees. And then there's certain trails where you're running across private land. Even there's a trail where you're running I think it's about 2 to 3 miles of private land before you get on the BLM land. And when you cross that guy's private land that the entrance is on, he wants you to pay him. So we don't run that trail, because that's logistically a nightmare to do as well. And then there are certain trails that you're dealing with the cryptobiotic soil, and no pets are allowed. So, we get a lot of people that I've had a couple messages, hey, can dogs come to the event? Absolutely, dogs are welcome at the event, but on certain trails, they're not. They're not allowed at all. They're not allowed in the vehicle, even if they never got off.
Wow.
Outside of the vehicle, they will stop you until no pets are allowed on the trails.
Right.
So there's a lot of moving wheels that we're looking at when we piece this trail schedule together. It's not so much that we just said, hey, let's do this one, and this one, and we try to put a schedule together. You're looking at how many people have signed up previously. We're looking at what our expected attendance is going to be, and then the other thing is you don't want to do trifecta on Friday, because if someone breaks, now they're trying to order parts and get their truck back together. So it's kind of a complicated formula, but you're trying to put together this whole thing and make it mesh. We probably spent a good 2 to 3 weeks putting our trail schedule together, and just kind of looking at past years, what previous organizers have done, and then we always get the question of, and I've heard it, why are there no black trails? Why don't we publish any black trails? For those of you who don't know, black trails, you're gonna damage your vehicle. Those are the things that the buggy guys like to go out on. You're gonna damage something. Something is gonna break.
Yeah.
And realistically, the answer for that is the black trails. They're kind of like their own little group, their own little splinter on Gone Moab. They kind of link up together, and they decide themselves what they're going to do for the day.
Right, and they don't have, obviously, if you're in a buggy or something of that nature, you probably don't need a guided tour of Moab either.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the reason why we don't publish any black trails, and that's kind of just been a theme of Gone for years now. So for you guys in the buggies, have at it, man, because more power to you. I would love to be there one day. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah. So obviously you'll see Xteras and Frontiers. I know every once in a while you see a Patrol or something. So there's a lot of obviously cool vehicles. And if you guys are kind of on the fence about this, don't be on the fence about this, because it's the same event. It's just there's a new face or a couple faces to this event, but it's still the same great event it was. And for you stock guys, I know from being out there, there's always stuff for stock guys, right?
Oh my goodness. If you've ever looked up any of the videos on Moab, I mean, they've got videos of Crown Vics. Everyone remembers that 10 years ago. Like, a guy took out a Crown Vic to Moab and did Hell's Revenge in a Crown Vic. Like, if you've got any vehicle and you're just like contemplating whether or not you can come, bring it, and no matter what condition you're in, we'll find a trail for you. There are so many trails that you can do in a brand new vehicle. Let's put it that way.
Right.
You could buy a truck right off the showroom floor, drive it out, and we could get you on a trail where you're not going to damage anything.
Right.
They have so many options.
And for your significant other, if you're like, well, they're on the fence about allowing me to buy things, these events actually are great for that. Bring your significant other out with you. Obviously show them a good time. Moab has a lot of cool things you can just tinker around town and do. But once they see bumpers and skid plates and stuff, and they see, why trucks need that, it's always a good place in my mind to kind of open up the wallet a little bit in the checkbook.
And you might even, put $20 in on the raffle, and who knows, you might walk away with something.
Right. So let's that's a good segue. So I know obviously you're still procuring sponsors, but who are some of the people you've got so far?
I've got a great list. Let me actually pull this up, because I was actually just thinking about that. I've been working on shooting out a list of the sponsors, but just so you guys know, here's our list that we've procured so far. So I've got Adams Drive Shaft. For those of you who don't know, they're a Vegas company, but their drive shafts and gearing is known actually countrywide. There's people that'll sell, and you're going to hear this word, there's people that'll sell their Jeeps in New York, and in their for sale ad, they'll say that they got them an Adams Drive Shaft. Their stuff is phenomenal. So they're in for the event. Adventure Tool Company, they've been a sponsor previous years. They're in. Alcan Springs, they're going to be donating another set of springs. Bubba Rope, we've got some product from Bubba Rope again. CJD is back in. I don't know if he's looking at if he's going to donate some arms. He said he's in, but he's looking at what he's going to do specifically for the event. Sure. We got Hefty Fab Works. High Lift has donated a 48-inch High Lift and a couple other smaller prizes. Lifestyle Offroad, always a sponsor. We're thankful to have them. They help make the T-shirts, the stickers, the banners that you guys see throughout the event. So shout out to Luke. Max Gear, and he actually sent over. He's got some ditch light brackets and a couple other things I can't think of off the top of my head. But Max Gear's in. Niztec Lifts, another platinum sponsor. So they always donate to the raffle.
Sure.
NPC Patch Company, they sent out a box, and I got the box last week, I think, and I was just like, holy cow, I didn't even know that they made all these patches. Like, I started Googling their website going, holy crap, this is dangerous, because there's so many patches. It's so cool.
Right.
So yeah, they're in. We got Offroad Vixen Clothing Company, White Knuckles donating a set of sliders again. Super Lifts, that's a brand new one for you guys. Super Lifts is actually a platinum sponsor. They donated a gift certificate good for any lift kit of your choice.
Nice.
So that's cool. And that's really thanks to the next guy I want to mention. His name is Josh Cooper. He put us in touch with them because he's an engineer at Super Lifts, and he owns another business, and his own business is called Cooper Concepts. I don't want to say what he's working on yet because it's not out, but let me just say it is cool.
Nice.
I am stoked for the product that he's trying to bring to market, and he's actually in for a platinum sponsor as well. So all I can say is No one has done what he's trying to do on 2 products. And if they come out, all you second gen guys, you will like it a lot. We got Rugged Radios, another brand new sponsor. They actually, and it's a perfect time to mention it, they're giving a discount code on their UV5R handheld radio for anyone who signs up for attendance.
Oh, nice.
We're actually looking at we just got the letter back on Friday. We're trying to get an email to everyone who already bought a ticket with the discount code. And anyone future signs up for the event, in your welcome packet, you're going to be given that code automatically in the email that comes back to you. So if you sign up for the event, you've got a discount code for the UV5R handheld unit from Rugged Radios. In addition to that, they're actually donated 2 other radios for the event, a radio with an antenna. So I believe it's a hardwired unit. So that's super cool, because we all know that, citizen band radios, they're kind of going away. Even though the event still requires you to run one, seems like ham radios are becoming more affordable and more usable.
Sure.
So that's a cool one. Another good one, and this is going to be for all you Overland guys. We got Camp Chef. They're donating 2 stoves for the event, so that's cool. Rock Auto's in. They give another gift certificate. My local rep here at the Nissan dealership is Henderson Nissan. Denise, the parts manager, loves off-roading. Like, she is so big on it, so much so that she has talked her boss into being a platinum sponsor at this event. So that's just another Nissan dealership that's local. And she's been asking me, what do guys want? What can I get? And so we're going back and forth on, maybe some OEM Titan axles for those that are M205 swapped, because, those are way stronger than the Cardone ones that you get. So looking at some of those, I'm trying to work with her, see what we can get. And the last one we've got is Power Tank. So far, those are everyone that's turned in packets. I've actually sent out close to about 200 sponsor packets and emails going back and forth with a good 20 of them. So we're working on some stuff. I'm sure you're going to see some more, like CVT is in. I skipped one, in Factor 55. How did I miss them? And their Factor 55 is in. Another new product that I thought was cool that we're emailing back and forth. We've got the Dead Man anchor, and the what is that land anchor called? I'll have to look at the emails. There was another land anchor company that I thought was super cool that they actually emailed and reached out to us about. And it eludes me at the moment.
Right. Well, it sounds like you're going to have a nice raffle so far, and what many people may not, through the previous administration, know that you guys are really dead set on this money is not. It's not going just to pay for condos or something. Like, this money is really going to do some good, right?
So that's something that that was our mission in taking over this event. I said from day one, I told Sean and Jay, I said, look, we're going to have a transparent event here. So we're going to release a financial statement, if you will, at the end of the event with, look, this is how much we brought in ticket sales. This is what we had to spend on permitting and insurance and venue and food, because we do give food at the meet and greet. We're going to have food available at the raffle night. So all of those things cost money. We're going to basically show what we brought in ticket sales, what we spent out, and then what we brought in the raffle. And we're going to keep a little bit off to the side to hold us over to start next year's event, because there are things that occur throughout the year. We got to pay for the storage unit that the event holds. We're paying for the website that runs all year long, those kind of things. We do need a little bit of money to start up the event for next year, but I will be making a public donation to off-roading nonprofit charities. That will happen, I promise you.
Nice.
Because that has been my mission from day one, and I feel like an opportunity was missed in the past by not making that public. So whether or not, whatever the amount we get, we're gonna make, and I'll pay the sign shop to make one of those nice checks that you see. Well, yeah, I'm serious. I'm going to get a 4-foot check. We're going to go out to that nonprofit representation, whether it's Tread Lightly, Stay the Trail, the Blue Ribbon Trail Society, the Red Rock Trail Society out in Moab that manages Moab, whatever ones that we can give some money to that makes the most sense, that's going to give the most back to this hobby that we love. We're going to get that check. I'm going to go visit them. We'll do a Facebook Live video as we hand them over the money.
Nice.
That way, it's all just about transparency.
Well, and I know the Knicks were big on that too, and of course, the regime change I think kind of made them look kind of bad. But knowing the Knicks and they were really they at the end of the year they did kind of what you're doing. Here's the books, here's kind of what we've taken in, here's what we're donating, and of course you guys are working as a nonprofit or you're working your way that way. So that's awesome, man. Because I don't think a lot of people realize when you were kind of like given what was left of this event, had zero money to do this. Like whatever the event had before, there's no reason or why that you had to start at zero, but you guys started at zero, man. So you've had to put a lot of your own funds just to kind of get the event back, man. And I think you guys deserve a lot of respect for that, because it's not like you just got to throw a $50 bill out there or something and it's not a video game or an arcade game where you throw a quarter in and you get to play for 10 more minutes. Like, you guys had to put some money into this thing, correct?
Sean has been the guy with the pockets. I said I couldn't have done it without him, but really, this event would not have been where it's at without him.
Right.
Let's be real, because he had the upfront cash. He said, whatever we need, we're going to get it rolling. We even had bills from last year's event that didn't get paid.
Right.
So we started up, and we're already in the red. We already had collection notice.
Which really aggravated me when me and you were talking privately. It was like, I was boggled my mind how you guys suddenly you're getting, stuff of like, hey, collections and stuff. But anyways, I'm happy that you guys have, at least working your way to clearing that up. And I know just within permitting and all that is a hassle, man. But I want to make sure that everybody listening in that knows you guys have really went out of your way to do this. This is a big deal. Obviously, you've had help that kind of know how to do events, but they're all unique. And you seem to be taking it super seriously, because I know for me, I look at it as it's somebody's vacation. It's not my vacation. I'm donating my time to do these things, but I don't want to ruin somebody's vacation, And it sounds like you guys really, you have the right mindset to make this thing just grow and be better than it ever has been.
That's really what it all is down for me. Is this is an event that's always been, like I said, dear to my heart, that I want to bring my family to. And I hope that other families feel the same way, that you can bring your wife and your kid to this event, because there is so much to see out of Moab. Even if you don't wheel for 5 days, my wife's going to come out there, and she's going to go. She wants to do a hike. She wants to go check out Arches.
Oh yeah, Arches is amazing.
And just even if you take a break from wheeling a day, the area that you're in is just beautiful. There is you could probably spend 2 weeks there and not see everything.
Well, you can do the loop if you're in Moab. Do the loop of I can't remember the road that goes right by the Colorado River, and it takes you up to 70. But you could do a loop. It's like a 90-mile loop, and it's just breathtaking. You just see all the scenery, and just driving by the Colorado River itself with all those campsites and that. And, of course, you're talking about Arches and all the monuments out there. Like, I think Arches is like $10 a carload a day. Like, it's super cheap to get in.
And if you've got and I tell people all the time, buy the National Parks Pass. Buy the National Parks Pass. You get in for free any national park anywhere in the country. And I know it's like $75 or $60 or something like that, but that money does go directly to the park services. So when they're out there marking the trailheads, when they got the guy manning the gate, that's where those funds are going. So If you're out there and you're enjoying these things, buy the National Parks Pass, and then you get to go to all your parks, all the lakes, everywhere for free.
Nice.
And we released we did a throwback years ago, and it kind of died. Was Gone News. That was something that I wanted to bring back, because that's something that Kevin and Josh started. Mm-hmm. And in there, if you had a chance to check it out, we actually covered the days that the park, it's free. It's free to go into the park service. Trying to remember what days those were, but let me pull it up here real quick. And yeah, I mean they do public free days. So January 20th, Martin Luther King Day, that one just passed. We had February 17th, that's President's Day. So the National Forest has 5 free days. You got President's Day. They have a National Get Outdoors Day, June 13th, National Public Lands Day, September 26th, and then Veterans Day, November 11th. The BLM similar days, they have President's Day, National Get Outdoors Day, National Public Lands Day, Veterans Day, and then the National Park Service has April 18th is the first day of National Park Week, so they add that one in there. And then they have August 25th, the National Park Service Birthday, and then they add the National Public Lands Day of September 26th and Veterans Day. So if you guys are into like hiking aside, to wheeling, go check out your parks, support them, because that's what keeps things open.
Right. So as we kind of wind this down a little bit, Moab itself, like if people don't realize, like there's always assumed risk to what you do. Like I know you try to run the safest event possible, but things can always happen. Breaking things can always happen, but there are plenty of parts stores there. So don't ever feel like, oh man, I'm going to be dead in the water and I've got to drive 1,000 miles to get home or whatever. But part of the thing that really intrigues me about going to these events in Moab is the people there. Like I've seen people break, and just people you would never suspect just jump in and they help people get on the, back on the trails, or that night in the condos, there's garages there and people are just, I'm amazed at how many tools that show up at these events, but it's like a little mechanic shop. I've seen repairs. I've seen people mod their vehicles there, like that they're meeting somebody from the East Coast is bringing something out that they traded or however it worked from the West Coast, and just the sense of community, man. And I'm really happy that you seem to be kind of pushing that again and making that a big part of it. And just Moab itself, like, Zach's Pizza, man. Zach's Pizza is awesome. I don't know what it was, man. Me and my wife spent some time there and just love that place. Or what's the little diner, the Moab Diner or something like that? That's a fun place to eat. And there's all kinds.
You got the barbecue place too.
Yeah, with the blue.
I can't. It's a yep.
Yeah, I can't think.
I'll know it afterwards.
Then there's that restaurant up on the ridge. That's a cool restaurant. And there's all kinds of things like Lelan was saying. Come out, you don't have to wheel for 5 days. There's lots of things to do there besides wheeling. You're just, once again, you're in the mecca of, like, it's Mars. I'm just going to say it's Mars, that you're getting to visit Mars. So definitely check them out. So Lelan, I know you've got registration open now, but what is, because I know you do like an early registration where it's slightly cheaper, but what is going on with registration?
So you're right. So we do an early registration, which ran until January 31st. So right now we're in just normal registration, which will actually run until the end of March, because we really need to know how many people are attending come April 1st, because there's a lot of logistics now that has to happen that last month. We're getting our T-shirts made. We're getting all of the welcome bags. So all of the gifts and stuff that go in the welcome bags and the stickers. So after April 1st, so on April 1st, I should say, the price goes to late registration, because now it's kind of throwing off the numbers.
Sure.
And for those of you who've gone multiple years, we tried our best and we were able to lower the prices. I know that was a key for a lot of people. We were able to lower the prices a little bit, while still maintaining the quality of the event that everyone's known Gone Moab to be. So that's kind of where we were at. We pieced all that together and we got it up, and now we're just in the normal registration dates.
Right.
And just because I'm sure you're going to ask, so far we've got 60 tickets sold.
Nice.
So we're doing pretty good. I think it's going to be a great event. I'm excited.
Nice. Well, so if somebody has questions, say they're kind of on the fence about this, is the Facebook group, is that kind of the best place to reach out to you? Or if you have a question you just want to ask everybody, is that kind of where it should be done, or what should they do? The
group is a great place for group conversations. I would say if someone absolutely has a question, the fastest way is to go to the page and hit message, because it's going to go to us three. It's going to go to Sean, myself, or Jay.
Right.
So you're going to get a direct answer from the people who are actually organizing this event.
Okay.
If you don't have Facebook and you're listening to this show, you can go to the website, and in there you'll see a link that you can click on to email us directly. And I believe it is info@gonemoab.com. And I'm actually going to pull that up just to verify right now, because I don't want to misspeak. I should have had that website up. Yeah, info@gonemoab.com. And again, that actually will go to all three of us. So any questions, those are the best ways. I like to tell people the Facebook group is great for discussion. You know, someone's selling a bumper that they're going to bring to the event. That's what that's really for, is that community. So that's what I got.
Well, cool, man. Well, dude, I appreciate you being on here, and I know it. Like, we've been talking, trying to get this done for a couple weeks now, and I appreciate you taking the time. For those that don't know, this is a Saturday night. Leland's like, this is probably the last thing you've worked all week. Probably the last thing you want to, like, great, now I got to go promote. Now my second job kicks in. But I do appreciate you being on here, man. And once again, guys, go to Gone Moab. Just check out the website. That's all you got to do. You know, the websites are the yellow pages of today. If you like what you see there and you want to reach out to them, do it. Go to, gosh, you can YouTube Gone Moab, and you're going to get almost 10 years of just how cool this event has been. And once again, if you want to talk to these guys, reach out to them, and they're all friendly guys. I know two of the three pretty well, and I'm putting the NNP stamp of approval on this event, guys. So once again, we are happy to promote it. I know Danny's going to be out there, and I'm going to try to be out there. So I want to see how well you guys do, man. And so as I forgot to ask you this, what are the dates to the event?
So the dates are actually May 17th, which is a Sunday, and it's going to be May 17th all the way to May 22nd, which is that Friday. So people will roll in. Check-in is about 4 p.m. on Sunday. So we try to have the event, for those who don't know, it's always a Monday through Friday event of wheeling. That way you do get Saturday and Sunday to come from wherever you're at, get into Utah, get situated. The trails begin Monday. We close the event with a raffle on Friday. And that Saturday, that weekend is actually a 3-day weekend. So people have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday typically to get back home. So that allows us to really draw in the big crowds. You know, we've had a couple people from Canada already sign up and register that are coming down.
Awesome.
So our Canadians are coming down. I seen one from Pennsylvania and one from New York go through. So it looks like we're going to have some people all across the country. And then maybe an Australian. That's what I've heard. We'll see if that happens.
Nice.
But might make it an international event. So
well, you've got some Canadians, then it's international, correct? I
that
mean,
is true.
even though we always consider Canadians basically Americans, but
we'll
anyway.
make it where it's more than North America. So we're thankful for everyone that wants to come in, and I think for us the big thing is, like you said, the community, man. This event to me was always that place, that moment where people, again, back in the day, you'd be on the forums and you're like talking to this person, but you never could put a face to the name.
Oh, yeah.
This event that's what it was for me. And I think my big vehicle that I always idolized was Jen, because my old Frontier, this is my second one I built, my old Frontier was a King Cab. And she lived in Nevada also. So watching her truck and then going and meeting her in Moab, that was awesome.
Right. And so guys, don't be like who's running this event, man. The event is fine, it's strong. Obviously you have lots of tickets sold already. And don't be one of those people that are last minute unless you just have to be. I know not everybody can just take their vacation time as soon as they want to, but definitely go out there, and if not, pay attention to what you see on social media coming up in May. And be jealous of all these people having this amazing time. And then 2021, man. 2021 is going to be big for all these events because you got Nissan's bringing out new heavy hitters in the off-road market. So I'm super excited to see that, man. So, Leland, I appreciate you being on the show tonight, man. And once again, guys, go to gonemoab.com. Check it out. Go to all socials. Check out whatever they do. And you're not going to, we're not steering you wrong on this, man. So here you go, buddy. You're in the driver's seat, man. May is right around the corner.
And I just want to say thank you, David, for having us on here.
Of course.
Nissan Nation podcast, always putting out, the news that we all love to hear. So I want to personally thank you for just supporting the event. And then one more person that I got to thank, Zach Mant, that gentleman right there, put our logos together, and having someone who can do that kind of thing and does it because he likes to is just, that helped us out getting this set up for this year. So I have to thank him, because without him, I'm sure we'd be paying someone to put this year's logo together. So Thanks again, Zach.
More money out of your pocket.
Yeah. So just want to thank the people that have really been helping us out.
All right, guys. So hashtag Gone Moab 2020, man. Let's get this thing going. So from all things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to all the way out there in Las Vegas, this has been your Nissan Nation podcast talking about Gone Moab with Lelan Merel. And we're out. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.
Peace.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was Lelan with Gone Moab. And once again, I want to say Lelan coming on. I want to say thank you for coming on and allowing us to help spread your word. Once again, I tip my hat to you, sir. You've taken on a monster. I know what it's like to run events. I've done it for 10 years. And for you to, in December, to have to jump into this because the last guy just dropped the ball and just decided that the community didn't mean nothing and his pride did. I want to say thank you for jumping in and saving that event. I think the community, they may be down a little bit this year because people are going to feel out with new leadership, but I think 2021 it's going to be back full strength. If it's not this year, I mean, I really can see them just killing it. Nothing's really changing, They're kind of going back to, like he said, they're kind of going a little bit old school with like the raffle at the condos and just a little more community, a little less trying to have big dinners and stuff. But I'm super happy where that event is going now. So let us know what you think, guys, in the comments. Once again, share this content. It's not about us. It's about getting the word out of the people that we bring on the show. And if you are looking to be on the show, why not? If you're doing something special out there in the Nissan world, let us know. If you're doing something special in the Infiniti world, let us know. We just like Nissan and Infiniti cars and trucks. We basically that we're here to support you in anything you're doing. I've got a bunch of interviews still, and I still have some interviews from when to get out, but this one was pretty timely and important. So once again, Lelan, thank you for coming on the show, and thank you guys for listening. We are the #1 Nissan podcast out there because basically we're the only Nissan podcast out there. So from all things Nissan here in my office in Podcast Central to wherever you're listening to us around the globe, this has been your Nissan Nation podcast, and we are out. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.